Slugfire shies are weird. To be honest, if they didn't have ACOGs, I feel pretty confident saying they wouldn't be used nearly as much as they are. But they blend together DMRs and shotguns in a very unique way, allowing for the strongest weapons capable of proper soft destruction. They range from gimmicks to literally just a DMR, and all manage to have their own unique identity. So let's compare them. What's poppin', gamers? It's Sunfish63 here to tell you about the most unique weapon type in the game. Let's get into it. Most every Slugfire has about the same soft destruction properties per shot, so let's talk about general tips on how to use it. Opening a hatch with a slug shy is weird. If you don't know what you're doing, it can take half a dozen shots and feel like you're wasting ammo. And that's because you are. Hatches can be pretty reliably one-shot if you know what you're doing, and two-shot almost every time otherwise. Hatches have these wooden beams in them that make up what the hatch really is, and destroying those is the key to a broken hatch. The most reliable way to break a hatch is to prone at an angle and get some distance from the hatch. If done just right, you'll hit basically every beam and destroy the hatch immediately. In plaster walls, you can make a crouch rotate in 4 shots. Wooden walls often take 6, but some are cruel and take 7 or 8. Standing rotates are an extra 2 or 4 respectively. With the TCSG, it's pretty reliable to make a full rotate with a single mag, but it does definitely take some finesse to do quickly. Now on to the guns themselves. Starting off with the newest and weirdest one, the Glaive 12. It does 68 damage and has 4 rounds in the mag. This is the only one that doesn't have an ACOG, but it's also the only one in the secondary slot. It's honestly a lot more similar to the Deagle than the other Slugfires, since it's only really serviceable at soft destruction, but hits like a truck. It's a fantastic finisher because of that, and can give plenty of flexibility if you're on the roam. In terms of heads-up gunfights, I find the most success just unloading my mag as fast as humanly possible. It gives you a more reliable chance of putting the enemy down, since it's hard to land just 2 shots. It's also not really worth saving ammo for a second swing because it puts you in such a bad position, having to land at best 2 body shots or go for a 1-tap. If you don't kill them on your first swing, just swap to your primary, trust. Going in reverse chronological order, we have the ACS. And before you get some smartass in the comments saying, actually, the TCSG came out after the ACS was a Slugfire when it first released. So in terms of Slugfires, this thing is newer. The ACS is the first and only fully automatic shot firing at 300 RPM. That's actually a drawback because anyone with a decent trigger finger can easily fire faster than 300 RPM. It does 69 damage a shot, which is tied with the 417 as one of the highest damage per shot weapons in the game. Unfortunately, due to the sluggish fire rate, that fact can often not matter. I've had plenty of gunfights using the UMP where I land all my shots, but because the enemy has a higher fire rate, I only managed to get 2 bullets off. The ACS has exactly half the fire rate of the UMP. I've had a lot of gunfights with the ACS where I fire off one single shot and get killed by the guy aiming center mass because the fire rate is just that slow. It's really not a gun you should be taking even gunfights with. It's just not reliable. The one saving grace is its 30-round drum mag, which is frankly just hilarious. You can also get away with another grip option because of its lack of recoil, but to be honest, I'm kind of tired of talking about this thing. Let's move on. I have a turbulent past with the TCSG. It used to be the best gun on defense, dealing 84 damage a shot, not only making a 2-shot kill, but often a 1-shot if the attacker was foolish enough to get hit by 1 MPX bullet. And even back then, I still struggled with it. I actually hate this gun. It's probably the gun that's brought me the most pain out of any weapon introduced in this game, both physically and emotionally. And it's all because of its recoil. Now to clarify, I don't think it has especially bad recoil. Comparing it to the other Slugfires, it actually has the most consistent recoil out of all of them, probably in the entire game. But in spite of that fact, something about it just doesn't make sense to my hand and made it damn near impossible for me to use for a handful of years. If I was allowed to make one change to the game, I'd add a muzzle brake to this gun, because for the love of God, I cannot handle this gun. Anyway, let's talk about its history. It came out dealing 84 damage, which is stupid. It then got nerfed to 55 damage, which due to rounding, made it a 3-shot kill against 2 speeds. This was quickly fixed by increasing it to 57, which made it a 2-shot kill against 2 speeds again. Funnily enough, increasing it to 56 would have done the same thing, but I guess math wasn't really that dev's strong suit. The gun was pretty abysmal even after this change, so a handful of seasons later, it was increased to 63, finally making it a consistent 2-shot kill again. Then people started using a different Slugfire. I think it was called like the Big Boss or something like that. I don't know, I didn't think it was very good. They got all the Slugfires collectively nerfed with their range dropping from 25 meters down to 15. However, because they liked where the TCSG was, they increased its damage to 75, which is where it sits now. It has a 10-round magazine, making it really enjoy an angled grip, but it also has offensive recoil, making it really enjoy a vertical grip. My advice, use a separate weapon. This thing is gonna bite you in the ass if you don't. But if that isn't an option, angled if you're using a 1X and vert grip if you're using an ACOG. Nothing much else to say. And last but not least, the gun I have the hottest take on, the Boss G. I do not care for the Boss G. I actually think it's pretty gimmicky. It's only really decent for holding angles, and if played around, doesn't even really do that especially well. For those of you who are unaware, the Boss G was the first slugfire shotgun ever added. It is the second strongest per shot weapon in the game, right behind the CSRX at 125. That's a one-shot down or kill against all 3 armor ratings. Problem is though, it's a double barrel, meaning it has 2 shots before it needs to reload. That means if you bait out those 2 shots, the opponent will need to swap to their secondary, giving you an advantage. Admittedly, that is easier said than done, since an arm shot will still do 87 damage. But even still, most of its power comes from being so different from every other weapon in the game. I can give one tip for those of you who plan to use it anyway: just use an angled grip. The recoil is so aggressive, it's not going to matter if it's 20% lower. You still won't be able to see your opponent once you've left clicked. So instead, reducing the timer without primary is going to be far more beneficial than seeing your opponent 30 milliseconds sooner. And that's all the slugfire shotties. If you couldn't tell, I had a lot more to say about these compared to the last one. The shorty and the IT are kind of boring since they're literally just normal shotguns. To be honest, I kind of don't like any of these guns, not to say all of them are bad. None of them really click for me, which is a shame, because they're such a cool weapon typing concept. But I digress. But as always, if you like this video, leave a like. If you want to see more videos on the weapons of Rainbow Six, subscribe. We're halfway through November and I'm still going strong. See y'all next week. Peace.